Hello and welcome to episode 3 from North of the Fatherhood. This is the video series relating to my £500 Peugeot Partner van conversion. So just a few days ago, what I did actually do in preparation for when I do begin to go at the conversion in anger somewhat, got lots of things planned, lots of things to do. I decided to get ahead of the game, and whilst I'm thinking about the electrics, I ordered myself a diesel heater from Sunster. So in this video what I'll be getting into is unboxing that product that arrived in just 2 days to Teesside. Came very quickly, got a very good price for that. I'll get more into that in just a moment, but this is the unboxing of the Sunster 2 kilowatt diesel heater. Enjoy. Okay, so thanks again for continuing to stay. So this is the unboxing of the Sunster A2200 BS diesel heater. It's a 2 kilowatt, 12 volts or 24 volts diesel heater that also has the Bluetooth capability. So this arrived, like I said, in just 2 days. So I will include in the description the link to this product. But let's see exactly what we get in this as we open it up. So straight away, right on top, user manual. I'm going to hold on to that for just a moment, put it to one side. Rather large diesel tank, bigger the better, I guess it holds more. Let's slide this out. Slide this out, and I'll just remove the bulk on the box in just a sec. So, the actual diesel heater itself, separate box. Let's have a look, see what is in here exactly. So this came recommended, and the reason I chose this product was twofold. I am part of a Facebook group which is just for recommendations on diesel heaters, but it also came with a discount code which I applied. So this retails for £97, and I'll show you the website and the screen and the detailed description of what it shows online for what you get and where you can get it from. So in this box we do have many pieces, all to be thought about, considered and planned where they're going to go. So the actual diesel heater itself, which I'll come to in just a second, vents for mounting inside the vehicle, which typically I would have thought would be connected to the end of the ducting which connects to the diesel heater. A T-piece should you want to have additional vents placed throughout your vehicle, in my case van. Flexi metal pipe, this is for the hot exhaust exiting the diesel heater. The standard fuel line, and I'll come back to that in a minute. The actual exhaust itself, which attaches to the metal flex, so obviously that needs to be directed away from the vehicle when installed. The electrical loom, which I plan on running to my C-Tech DC to DC charger and leisure battery, so that will come in handy later on. Smaller ducting, a turret plate which is usually mounted in the bottom of the vehicle in order for the air intake and the exhaust to exit. You might also run the fuel line through that depending on where you choose to mount your fuel tank. Come back to that also in a minute. And then a ton of other things. So in there I can see the diesel fuel filter, various Jubilee clips, clamps, screws, zip ties, everything I imagine you are going to need to get that hooked up and working in your vehicle, in my case a van. So moving on to the actual diesel heater, I'll just move these out of the way, sorry for the noise. Very nicely wrapped, I must say. Okay. Done that. I'll move this to one side as well. So, the actual diesel heater itself, not too large product. You can see attachment for the wiring loom to connect to, vents either end, in, hot air out. As well as 2 connections. So you will typically have 3 points here. I'll just take this sleeve off there for a moment. So you can see there you actually have 2 same size ports and the additional port there. So this is for the fuel line. Now the fuel line always goes to the cold air in as opposed to the hot air out. You don't want your hot air anywhere near any fuel, so this is always somewhat removed. Nice carbon finish on the heater itself. It's rather nice. The actual fuel pump, so huge debate, whole video could be made on these. There's plenty of people out there, so I won't confess to knowing too much about exactly how or what, but when these are mounted and they're working, you do get a tick, 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 tick sound. Obviously the fuel pump is working, so it's reassuring from that point of view, but if you're sleeping and you've got your heat on, you're going to hear that tick, tick, tick. So what some people have done is they have either replaced and upgraded the fuel pump to something that is quieter. Sunster do equally have a quieter version available. Other manufacturers, other vendors do also sell pumps that you can swap this out for, you know, in a case of it's enclosed, it's encased, it reduces the volume of the sound, so you can equally look at that if it interests you. But I think just to get started, I'm just going to keep that exactly as it is. Then what you also get is the key fob with the directional ability to on, off, up or down temperature wise, as well as you can mount a panel somewhere in the vehicle itself. Now of course this is the Bluetooth version, so you get the 3 options. You can either have the control panel and make your modifications to the settings there. You can have the wireless remote. You can make your settings change from there, but you can also have on your smartphone the app which will pair to the device with Bluetooth, obviously within Bluetooth range. Now the heater user manual itself is just giving you a breakdown. I'll bring that a little closer for you. A breakdown of components, items, what they are, pairing of the Bluetooth device, QR code for the app for both Android and iOS devices, as well as how to get the diesel heater running the first time, how you typically would use it. And this is useful because I've seen a fair number of posts at different points of people that have either just installed them or had them running for some time. You do get error codes that sometimes occur. So obviously it indicates that something could be wrong. So the pump could be at fault. It could be overheating. It could be the glow plug that requires cleaning or replacing, lack of fuel. There could be any number of different reasons why the diesel heater doesn't run the way you want it to at some point in its life. So that's useful to have. And then there's QR codes for the manuals for the remote controls for how that operates and runs. So just coming back real quick, as a member of this Facebook group, and what I'll do is I'll put the link to that Facebook group in the description as well. two things that I was recommended to consider is an upgrade to the fuel line, because this is it's not too bad actually, but it was recommended to upgrade the fuel line because depending on where you plan on running that fuel line, this could become brittle or break or crack, and so a recommendation was made to upgrade that. So I have ordered an upgraded fuel line. So for me, what I plan on actually doing is probably running the diesel heater under one of the front driver or passenger seat. The leisure battery will probably sit behind that, but obviously the cold air intake and the exhaust that needs to exit and be well clear of the vehicle, that needs to go through the floor. So you can of course use this plate as well. So let me just see how that would go. So this is obviously for mounting, that way around, mounting to the vehicle in order to, in order for that to be, got it upside down of course, but to be mounted to the vehicle. But what I have bought as well, and I'll just open that real quick, is an alternative and replacement product. So I may use this, but I've got the option of a turret. So works in exactly the same way, but mount this to the floor of your vehicle, with this obviously exiting the vehicle. So your pipes would come through, your fuel line as well, and it just allows you to have more clearance away from the vehicle, as well as transferring more heat away from the vehicle. So this itself, not too shabby a product. You could weld it, or you could just simply fix it and seal it, of course, to ensure that there's no moisture penetrating into the vehicle. But depending on what I find when I get into the conversion, I'm going to be using either one or the other. So there'll be a future update and video to determine exactly which one of those I've decided to use. So now coming back to the fuel line, so this is the item that came in the box, and this was the added product that I decided to buy. So let's just see how the pipe itself does actually compare. Obviously pipes, Jubilee clips in order to connect that. Another fuel pump and a new fuel line. So interesting. Looks about similar length in all honesty, but I might seek more advice about this, because actually the one in this box seems better than the one that was recommended to buy. So I would perhaps recommend, and I'll post an update to this later, this to me seems a slightly more inferior product, so I don't know if actually the fuel filter is actually better than the one that came with the product itself, or whether this is just something that Sunster have resolved and have started to include better fuel lines in the package. So I'll give you an update on that shortly. But either way, that's the Sunster A2200BS diesel heater model. It's a 2 kilowatt model. Hope that's useful for you. If you did find this video useful, or if you've used a different product or have got experience of using this product, then please do feel free, leave a comment, let me know what products you've decided to use, how your install's going on, and I'll be sure to get back to you in the comments. So with that all said, hope you've enjoyed the video. Have a great day. Take care. Bye bye.